And one small note before we begin, this Friday, June 14th, is America's Flag Day, commemorating the adoption of our first national flag by the Second Continental Congress in 1777. So for 247 years, the Stars and Stripes have stood as a symbol of patriotism and pride for our nation. And on Flag Day, we're asking all to look toward our nation's banner in celebration of that triumph. With that said, I'd like to ask everyone to please rise as we begin our meeting and ask Councilman O'Connor if he would please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Councilman. We are continually amazed and always proud of the talented youth throughout the town of Islip. And today, we're honored to once again recognize some of these standout members of our community. We will begin with the players and coaches of the East Islip Boys Varsity Lacrosse Team. I'd ask Councilman O'Connor, who represents that district, to come forward and join me. The East Islip Redmen recently clinched their first Suffolk County Class B lacrosse championship in remarkable fashion. With a commanding 12-5 victory over Smithtown West, the team showcased their exceptional skill and teamwork. Under the leadership of Coach Tom Zumo, the Redmen's speed, talent, and execution were on full display, leading them to bring home their first county title. How exciting is that, right? After coming so close last year, this victory is a testament to their dedication, camaraderie, and perseverance in pursuit of excellence. So please join us in congratulating East Islip High School's varsity boys lacrosse team on their historic season and championship win. So gentlemen, come join us. They are, huh?
They're hiding in
They're
plain
hiding.
sight. Hiding in plain sight.
They're hiding. Right here. Oh,
There you go.
you didn't. Got it. Oh, boy.
Congratulations, boys.
Congratulations. Thank you. Oh, sure.
And Jay.
This way.
And you, man.
How are you? Congratulations.
She's geek.
What are they doing?
You're gonna dance. Go pinch your booty.
That's what I was thinking.
I'll pinch your booty.
She got you.
Yeah. Try to pinch your. At least I gotta get some. What's up, bro? Straight up.
Nice job. Last action.
Class act.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's going to be exciting. First time ever. One more time for first time ever champions. Thank you. It's really kind of cool when the school superintendent, members of the Board of Education come to support their teams when something like this is happening. So really good, a lot of sense of school pride. Our next group of honorees is the Bayshore High School Model UN team. Also had quite an impressive season. This year, the team vigorously prepared for the prestigious New York City Model UN Conference. With a focus on Cuba's diplomatic history, the team became experts on complex topics, wrote detailed position papers, and honed their skills in resolution writing, problem solving, and public speaking. At the New York conference, they met with serving Cuban UN delegates and gained valuable insights working in tandem to negotiate resolutions and address global issues ranging from prison neglect to renewable energy. The dedication, thoughtfulness, and skill exhibited by the team exemplify true excellence and a bright future for diplomacy. Their hard work and success bring pride to their school, community, and certainly to our town. Please join me in congratulating the Bayshore High School Model UN team on a fantastic and unforgettable year. Come join us, please.
How you doing? The yard sale on Saturday.
Support Jason. You want an ice up terrace on Saturday?
Okay.
Yeah.
What was that?
I gave him $50.
I
Took a
don't even
barrel.
know that. What do I know?
This was the one you emailed me about or texted me about on Mother's Day about the guy. Yeah. So they had a yard sale.
How'd she do with her walk? I didn't even know about the yard.
You know, this is a little different from the sports teams that we generally recognize. So I was asking if the coach wanted to come up and, or the team advisor wanted to come up and say a few words about it.
Well, Supervisor Carpenter, honorable members of the Islip Town Council, my fellow Islip residents, good afternoon. Thank you so much for having us here this afternoon. I just want to say a special word about these young men and women that you see in front of you. The description that Supervisor Carpenter gave us was very detailed in how much hard work goes into this type of activity. But when you see these people in their element, wrestling with these real world issues, speaking about the importance of prison reform with real Cuban diplomats, and then taking that information with their peers and trying to solve these problems as they're balancing not only these world issues, but the perspective of the country that we're representing and the various personalities in the room. They amaze me and Mrs. Niedzwiecki every single day with that. And the future of diplomacy in this country is indeed bright if it is in their hands. which we know it is.
Oh,
So thank you.
We couldn't be more proud. And they competed against about 3,000 other students from across
Wow.
not just the country but the world, and they took first place. So we're really, really proud of them. Thank you.
Thank you for having us. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you for sharing that. You could see the pride that their advisors have in all of your achievements. So congratulations to everyone involved. So looking ahead, June is a month filled with anticipation and celebration. As summer approaches and the school year winds down, we look forward to graduations, gatherings with loved ones, and cherished moments spent together. However, amidst our festivities and the freedoms we enjoy, it's crucial to remember that these liberties should never be taken for granted. On June 19th, we observed Juneteenth, a national holiday commemorating the end of slavery in the United States. This day marks a significant milestone in our nation's history as it recognizes the long and arduous journey towards equality and the challenges faced by our fellow Americans. In honor of this important occasion, town offices will be closed on Wednesday, June 19th, joining countless other workplaces across the country in observance of the national holiday. Our town truly derives its strength and beauty from the diverse individuals who call Islip home. In this spirit, we also recognize June as Pride Month, honoring the historic Stonewall riots and the pivotal moments that ignited the fight for LGBTQ rights. Our town takes pride in championing the rights of every individual, and we are honored to acknowledge the vibrant and diverse members of our community who contribute to our collective richness. We are one town bound together by our differences and strengthened by our unity. And to all those incredible fathers, grandfathers, father figures throughout our town who have shaped our lives with their love, support, and guidance, allow us to express our gratitude and wish you all a very blessed and happy Father's Day. Thank you. Okay, we will officially call the meeting of the Islip Town Board to order. We'll begin this afternoon with 3 scheduled public hearings for the board's consideration. I now call upon Town Clerk to please read the first hearing notice.
Thank you, Madam Supervisor. Item number 1, to consider amending the Town of Islip Uniform Traffic Code.
Okay. There are no cards on this. Are there any questions? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to close the public hearing and offer the resolution for its
We have a motion and a second by Councilman McElway. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. If you would please read the next hearing notice.
Item number 2, to consider amending the Islip Town Code, Chapter 26, entitled Parades, Assemblies, and Carnivals.
Okay, I just want to check. I know that you said chapter 26, but the resolution refers to chapter 36. Town Attorney, which is it? 26 or 36?
Well,
I don't, this is probably just the description of the public notice, but was that what was noticed, 26 or 36?
Yeah, which public notice?
All right, you know what? Let's move to the next, and you can have someone check on that, please, and then we'll go back to number 2. So we go to number 3 now to consider amending, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, it's downstairs.
Okay, well, we'll hold that in abeyance then, and we will go to the next, which is consider amending Islip Town Code, Chapter 61, entitled Vehicular Uses Fire Island. And we do have someone who has signed up to speak on that public hearing. George Hoffman, if you would come forward, please.
Good afternoon, Madam Supervisor and members of the Town Board. My name's George Hoffman, and I'm here representing the Fire Island Association. Our president, Susie Goldhirsch, wanted to be here this afternoon, but she had a conflict and could not make it. So I'll be just reading her letter into the record. Also, the mayor of the village of Saltaire, Hugh O'Brien, also had hoped to be here, but he had something come up in the end and couldn't get off the island. So I would like to read her letter into the record about the e-bikes. This is from Susie Goldhirsch. I'm writing to submit comment on the proposed amendment of Islip Code 60, Chapter 61, Vehicular Uses Fire Island, which is scheduled to be considered at today's public hearing. I am offering these remarks in my capacity as president of the Fire Island Association, the organization that represents the interests of all 17 communities, over 4,000 homes, and dozens of businesses. With its stunning natural environment, outstanding recreational opportunities, and unique quality of life, the island is a special and irreplaceable place for the residents and visitors alike. As a steward of this resource, FIA takes very seriously its obligations to weigh the consequences of many issues and activities and how they might impact the future of this unique island that attracts over 2 million visitors a year. Of our 17 communities on the island, 11 of them are in the town of Islip, and that's Kismet, Village of Saltaire, Fair Harbor, Dunewood, Lonelyville, Atlantique, Robbins Rest, Summer Club, Cornell Estates, and the Village of Ocean Beach and Seaview. I have personally been in touch with the leaders of each of these communities on the subject of the amendment under consideration. Each community is keenly aware of the dangers to community health and safety posed by the unregulated use of e-bikes. Each leader also enthusiastically applauds the town for recognizing this danger and for proposing critically important legislation pertaining to the safe operation of e-bikes in the Islip section of the island. After discussion with the proposed amendment, however, we believe that many Fire Island residents do not support some of the provisions, especially the total ban on all e-bikes from May 1st to Columbus Day. Rather than an outright ban, we urge the town to draft new language that would focus primarily on issues of safe and responsible use of e-bikes, including speed, manner of operation, that would be pedal and electric assist, and appropriate dates when the code would be in effect. The FIA therefore recommends that the motion to amend Islip Code 61 should be tabled today and rescheduled for a vote in the near future after changes have been made that are supported by the island residents and that will mandate safe and responsible operation of e-bikes on Fire Island. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Hoffman. I know that we've received an awful lot of, a number of emails regarding this issue. A lot of people in total support of a ban and those in support of a less restrictive. And in reviewing it with the town attorney's office, I know we were looking more towards the Village of Saltaire, which I think is a little bit less restrictive. So what I'd like to do today is close the public hearing and reserve decision on this so that we can look at it and have it be a little bit more in line with what there seems to be an overall comfort level with as a starter. And if that doesn't address the problem, we can always go back to it next season. So there are no other speakers on this, so I'll make a motion to close the public hearing and reserve decision on this. For a second. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Is approved. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, do we have an answer?
I could go downstairs and get one. You want me to go? I'll go.
Yeah, that would be nice if you could do that. Yeah. All right, so while we're waiting to get that information, we will go to the public comment portion. We have a number of speakers who have signed up to speak. Just to remind everyone, you have 3 minutes, and this is not a question and answer. If you have any issues that you want to bring forward, any comments, any concerns, any compliments, we're here to listen. And if there is a specific issue that can be addressed by one of our commissioners, they'll meet with you outside. So let us begin. Our first speaker is Madeline Sharrock. Madeline is the Executive Director of Keep Islip Clean. Doing a great job.
So yes, my name is Madeline Sharrock, and I am the Executive Director of Keep Islip Clean, which is an affiliate of Keep America Beautiful. Now, each spring, KIC joins with Keep America Beautiful and participates in the Great American Cleanup. Now, since March 20th, over 1,000 volunteers from across the town of Islip have picked up nearly 20,000 pounds of litter and planted 1,500 plants to beautify our communities. KIC is grateful for the support of the town of Islip. Now, on May 22nd, Jenny Lawson, the CEO of Keep America Beautiful, held a town hall meeting with all the local affiliates to outline some more details for the greatest American cleanup. This program kicks off the Keep America Beautiful contribution to the nationwide recognition of the 250th anniversary of the American Revolution and the Declaration of Independence in 2026. Now, at the last board meeting, the board approved a pledge that the town of Islip would assist in the programming and promotion of the greatest American cleanup. Keep Islip Clean recently received a grant of materials and funds to conduct one of our first programs under that project. And we conducted we planted native pollinators and a big cleanup event that took place at Brookwood Hall last Saturday. We planted over 75 native pollinator plants around the perimeter of the community garden, and that will assist the community gardeners have more plentiful vegetable crops. Several volunteers also picked up litter along the shorelines of the lake and took care to find fishing line that was left behind by some local fishermen. The next event is one that was only presented to us on May 22nd. And we would love to have the town of Islip's support to hold a trash mob. Yes, Tuesday, July 2nd will mark the nationwide kickoff of the greatest American cleanup with a trash mob. Now think of those videos with dancing and singing flash mobs, but only on this day, individuals, families, community groups, companies, and municipalities are encouraged to get out and pick up as much trash as they can find in 15 minutes at one point during that day. Now, if everyone in the United States did this at the same time and picked up 152 pieces of trash, there would be no more trash on the ground. Maybe for a moment, we can accomplish that in the town of Islip. Thank you for considering this out-of-the-box idea. Keep Islip Clean is expecting the media and promotional materials for this event on Friday from the National Keep America Beautiful office, and we would gladly work with the appropriate town officials to help kick off this event.
Thank you, Madeline. What was that date again?
It's Tuesday, July 2nd.
Okay. So you can work with Caroline Smith in our public information office, and we'll try to get this out there. Not a lot of lead time, but
No,
we'll
they
get there.
didn't give us a lot of lead
Yeah,
time, but
that's
it's
generally,
something that all I need to do is provide trash bags and gloves possibly to various organizations, and we can get some pictures and promotion to try to
be
do
happy to
this.
work with you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next speaker, Andy Cross.
Andy Cross, Bay Shore, New York. And once again, I'm here about the real property tax law line on my tax bill. When the tax went up 41% in 1 year, you said it was due to the price of housing going down. That 1 year since then, the price of housing has skyrocketed. So why is this tax still on the tax bill? While you said in your reelection flyers you are good at holding taxes down, and did you approve these flyers, and how many votes did this lie get? And does the town board have the guts to do what Congress did to George Santos for lying? What about the special town board meeting, and why couldn't it wait for this meeting? Did you vote on something that you did not want people to know? Kind of like editing us out of the meeting. I heard rumors that the Bayshore Fire Department needs new equipment for the 5-story monstrosity you gave tax breaks to. Is the town going to give the Bayshore Fire Department money to buy new equipment for this? Is that what you call holding the line on taxes? Giving tax breaks and forcing the people who live in Bayshore to pay more taxes to buy equipment and wait until all the apartments are rented with all the new kids in school? I can wait to see that one. We still don't know about the bad design of the boat ramp at West Islip Marina. That had to be built and ripped out and built again. Are the taxpayers going to pay for this and raise taxes, or are you going to bond for it, putting future generations in debt to pay for this mismanagement? Are any or all the town board going to resign for this mismanagement? Are you going to bond over the amount like you did for Clementi Park? What was it, 6 million bonded for a $2 million contract? And where did all that extra money go? That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Cross. Next speaker, Jim Schlau.
Can't tell you how much stuff I picked up. Okay. C-SPAN's motto, if you want to call it that, or their adage is, your unfiltered view of government. You're cutting us out of the Channel 18. That's deplorable. I know that my personality can be impetuous sometimes, but look at the conditions I'm living in. You were hired or voted in to preserve our way of life, and it's not being preserved. It's a disaster. Now, I got a little information from somebody in code enforcement that they're going to make some changes for the better about parking on the grass and those little things you see that are towed all over the place. I don't know what to call them, but I don't know if it's as simple as that. Can they park on the right-of-way? Can they pave the right-of-way to park there? Can they throw tar down on their lawns over the grass to park there? It's not clear. They're saying now that the people can't park on their lawns because we got that like crazy. So what they're going to do is, what everybody else is doing, is paving the whole lawn. Like on Clayton Street, and then I get a call from Jason to say, well, we don't know we don't know what year they were born. So we can't do anything. There's so many loopholes here. You can't pussyfoot around with this neighborhood. It's a wreck. And you just sit there and I come back again next week. And then there was a loud party on Irving 3 weeks ago. I don't have the exact date because I didn't bring my party notes. Cops went there and the people said that we went to the town and we asked for a permit because they were having a wedding party and they couldn't afford a venue. So the cops let them play until 11 at night, 11:30 or so. Who in the town hall gave them the idea that you don't need a permit to blast the music all night? You know, sometimes some of the town hall governments, divisions in here are pretty good, some of them. But some of this is like dealing with like the government in the comedy show Green Acres. It's ridiculous. It's like the form I put in months ago to deal with the parking on Smith Street. And I go back months later, oh, we don't know anything. Well, you said you were going to get back to me. Nobody got back to me. So I filled the form out again earlier this week. I'm going to see if Mr. O'Connor can help me with that because he's pretty good. He gets things done. He's my councilman. But we need you to step up and straighten this mess out. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Schlau.
These notes here are just small stuff. Just point something out.
Next speaker, Tom Connors.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak today. I'm here to discuss a pressing issue that not only affects my family, but all residents of Eden Lane, the long-standing flooding problem that has plagued our street. For over a decade, this issue has been recognized, studied, and understood. In 2014, Suffolk County's multi-jurisdictional hazard mitigation plan was approved by FEMA, and Eden Lane was specifically mentioned in this plan. In that plan, they laid out exactly what needs to be done. Raise the town-owned bulkhead, elevate the road 12 inches, and implement a closed drainage system. All of these fall squarely within areas managed by our town under your jurisdiction. While I appreciate the complexities of municipal governance, it is very concerning that although these solutions have been known for a decade, no action has been taken. Why is that? This oversight and delay has cost us greatly, not just in property damage, but in our daily peace of mind. I respectfully urge the council to prioritize these projects. It is within your power and responsibility to implement the solutions identified in the Suffolk County Hazard Mitigation Plan. We are not asking for a temporary fix, but a long-term solution that can protect our homes and our lives. I appreciate the efforts of those council members who have shown support for resolving this issue, and I am hopeful that together we can usher in the necessary changes. Let's not allow another year to pass without action. It is time for decisive steps that will prevent further damage and safeguard the well-being of all residents affected. In conclusion, we depend on you, our elected officials, to ensure that our town is a safe, livable place for all of its residents. We have the information, we have the means, and now we need the will to act. I ask for your commitment today to raise the bulkhead, elevate the road, and fix the drainage system. Let us move forward not just with words, but with concrete actions. Every high tide, every coastal storm, every 15-minute rainstorm poses imminent and potentially dangerous risks. There is no time left to delay and pass the buck. Time has run out. There is no other recourse but action. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Connors. Next speaker, Paul Adams.
Hi, how you doing? Paul Adams, I'm the owner of 6 Wyandotte Lane in East Islip. I bought the property about 6 months ago and I thought I could subdivide it. I was unable to subdivide it, and the property that I was understanding that had to be cleaned was around the house, not the large piece of land behind the house. So I met with one of your inspectors today. He explained to me what the expectations were for me to clear the property. I understand that now, and I'm just gonna need a little bit more time to get that done. If you guys could, extend maybe 30 days would help me get a contractor in there to clean out the property.
Coming down, Mr. Adams. I know that resolution is later on the agenda, so we'll remember that you were here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, Brian Comerford.
Hello, my name is Brian Comerford. I live on Eaton Lane in West Islip. I'm here in reference to the flooding on Eaton Lane. I've been there for about 28 years now. And what we have, very briefly, what we have is we have a pump system. Most blocks down by the water have drains that drain into the bay or drain into the canal. And usually you see a little placard on it, says drains to bay. What we have is we have a pump system. At the end of the block, it's kind of like a large sump pump. There's a pipe that goes from the drains to the large pipe in the street, pitches down, gets to the end of the block, pumps over the dock. What's the problem, what's going on now is the dock is very porous. The water is pouring through the dock. It's inundating the pump. The pump has a high water mark, has a high water shutoff. Once it's inundated, the pump turns off. We're soaking wet. 50 times a year, we're soaking wet. I think if the DPW went down there, either raise the dock, get rid of a couple of the drains at the end of the block, we understand we're gonna get wet. Hurricanes, coastal storms, nor'easters, we get it, we're gonna get wet. But we shouldn't be wet 50, 60 times a year. We were soaking wet on Friday, rain Friday, and can't get your car out. And I can tell you every person on that block has lost at least one car. You can look at the weather reports. There's no coastal warnings, no coastal flood warnings, and we still have water in the street. So really appreciate it if somebody could look at it and take a look at it and try to fix the problem. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. I know that the commissioner has been working on this and will continue to do so. Karen Berger.
Good afternoon. I speak today as a mother. My name is Karen Berger, and I live at 203 Eaton Lane in West Islip. There were many times during the last month of my husband's life that I wondered if we would be able to get him medical intervention if there were a crisis during one of the Eaton Lane floods. During one of those floods, he missed getting a necessary needed transfusion. The situation happened not too long ago involving my multi-handicapped non-ambulatory daughter. As she and I were driving home, my neighbor texted me that our street was flooding fast. As we drove further down the road, it was obvious there was no way to get to my house. I panicked. I drove to the fire department and asked for help to bring my daughter safely into our home, and they turned us away, saying that they would not drive somebody into a flood. On several occasions, she has missed important physical therapy because of the flood, that we could not get her handicap van out of my driveway. At this point, I am rightfully concerned and I am angry that over 10 years of asking for mitigation to fix this flood issue, it seems to have fallen on deaf ears. How many years does it take for the people of Eaton Lane to cry out for help when there are solutions that are easy to stamp, yes, let's try this? Our pleas have been met with silence. Over the many years, there have been letters, emails, petitions, meeting, and nothing is done except ignoring us. I also have concern for one of my neighbors 3 doors down. What if an ambulance is needed for her? This safety issue concerns not only me, but many of us at the foot of Eaton Lane. I am fearful that the day will come, especially this season when the forecast is predicting many hurricanes, that my handicapped daughter will need to be rescued either by me driving out of Eaton Lane or rescue coming to my house with no way to get her. I fear for her, and I hold great concern that if something serious should happen to this decision to keep ignoring us and not trying to remedy this problem, then you are all put on notice. You are now on alert that, God forbid, something seriously happens to my daughter and cannot get out of my house, I will have no choice but to hold this board and the Department of Public Works accountable. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Karen. Next speaker, Lisa O'Kane.
So I'm here about the property at 79 Brentwood Street, which is technically still in my parents' name. It's one of the ones also that needed to be cleaned up and fixed. They're both dead. It just hasn't worked its way through to, legally to get to a name change yet. So everything is done about that as far as I know, like on the fixing. Only thing left to do is the yard cleanup is still being done, but there's somebody working on it for me, and he was there today, and he's gonna keep coming back until he's done doing the cleanup. It's 79 Brentwood Street. It's one of the ones you have on the.
Okay. Thank you, Lisa.
What address is it? 79.
79 Brentwood Street, but I don't know if that is.
It's not one of the,
That's her address, perhaps.
I see, yeah, thank you. Yep.
Okay, that are all of the cards that we have. I'll have a motion to close public portion. Motion by Councilman McElway, second by Councilman Guardron. All those in favor, opposed, the public portion is closed. Let us go back. Do you have that information now? Perfect. To public hearing number 2. If Town Clerk would please read the hearing notice.
Thank you, Madam Supervisor. Item number 2, to consider amending Islip Town Code, Chapter 36, entitled Parades, Assemblies, and Carnivals.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Hearing none, motion?
Make a motion that we close the public hearing, call for the resolution.
We have a motion. Do I have a second? Second by Councilman McElway. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Thank you. Okay, we will move now to the agenda. First being the meeting of the Town of Islip Industrial Development Agency. Make a motion to convene.
Motion.
Second by Councilman O'Connor. We stand convened, a quorum being present. John?
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, Madam Chair and members of the agency board. John Walzer, Executive Director, 40 Nassau Avenue, Islip, New York. I have several items for your consideration today. The first item is to approve the minutes from the last agency board meeting on May 14th of this year.
Are there any questions on the minutes? Hearing none, motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Guardron. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved.
Thank you very much. The next item for your consideration is the adoption of an inducement resolution between the agency and Islandia Property Owners LLC. This would be a regionally significant development project expected to take approximately 10 years in several phases. The property is 69 acres and is the former headquarters for Computer Associates along the Long Island Expressway in Islandia. The site has been vacant since 2021, and the buildings were demolished and the site cleared earlier this year. The Village of Islandia has granted entitlements to this project in the form of secret determinations, change of zone, and preliminary site plan approval for 983,000 square feet on the 69 acres. The first phase of the project would involve the construction of 2 approximately 120,000 square foot buildings and site work and infrastructure for the entire site. Subsequent phases will be built to suit for specific tenants. Now keep in mind that the involvement of the agency will require this project to adhere to our construction wage policy, requiring 90% of labor and materials be sourced from our economic region. This project represents a capital investment in excess of $188 million. Will create a very attractive shovel-ready site to attract businesses to our town. Will create many hundreds of construction jobs for our region for an extended period of time. Will create many hundreds of permanent jobs when complete, and will significantly increase the assessed value for land that is currently vacant. This is a really good economic development project, and I encourage your support.
John, did you say that the Computer Associates building that was there has been demolished?
That's correct.
So was this done before the taxable status date?
Yes, it was.
So now this is being taxed as vacant land. So that's been a diminution of revenue coming to the town and the taxpayers.
Yes.
Well, we get a portion too.
Yeah.
Are there any questions on this?
I just have a question of procedure for the town attorney. I understand that this town board has run into problems in the past where we couldn't garner a motion or a second on an item, and we've been scolded by courts that applicants are entitled to a vote, right? Okay, very good.
Okay. Are there any other questions on this particular resolution? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion for a vote on the resolution.
Is there a second? I mean,
Second.
that is a little bit unusual.
I'm not in support of the resolution,
Well, I'm
but the
not-
applicant deserves a vote.
No, but you still would make a
If
motion.
somebody wants to make a motion to support the resolution, I'll yield to that motion under Robert's rules.
I will, I'm going to make a motion to table.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's tabled. Move to the next.
The last item I have for your consideration is the adoption of an inducement resolution between the agency and Photonics Industries International, located at 1800 Ocean Avenue in Ronkonkoma. Photonics develops and manufactures advanced solid-state lasers used in manufacturing in multiple industries, but primarily for the manufacturing of semiconductors. This expansion project involves an expansion of the company's footprint in the Ronkonkoma facility, represents a $3 million capital investment, the retention of 107 jobs, and the creation of 33 new jobs.
Are there any questions?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor. I'll second that motion. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved.
And that's all the business I have for you today.
A motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman McElway, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? We stand adjourned. Let us move now to item 3, meeting of the, actually, item 2, Town Board authorization to clean up. Before we do that, someone just handed 2 slips, people who had signed up to speak in the public portion. So I'm going to make a motion to reopen the public portion, second by Councilman O'Connor. And if Gary Bodenberg is here and wants to come forward.
Good afternoon. I can actually yield until we get to number 10 on the agenda, and then I can come up
We
and
don't
speak.
work that way.
You don't want, so you want me to speak now,
Yep.
the resolution? Okay. So item number 10 is the renaming of the street on Foreign Drive in East Islip for my grandmother Nina. And the presentation that, the resolution that was created, if I'm allowed to read that, that would be great.
Go ahead, you have 3 minutes.
Okay. So the town board, town of Islip has received the request to enact a symbolic naming of the intersection of Foreign Drive and Grenadier Lane in honor of Nina Cooley. The intersection of Foreign Drive and Grenadier Lane in East Islip is dedicated to the town, is under the jurisdiction of the town. Nina Cooley resided at 76 Foreign Drive in East Islip for over 60 years. Nina was from Brooklyn, New York, and aspired to become a participant in veteran affairs after her brother Stevie was drafted during World War II. Nina Cooley met her husband Harold after return from duty in the United States Army, starting their family in Levittown, where they began their lifelong participation with AMVETS. Nina Cooley ran and was elected to the offices of New York State Historian, New York State Treasurer, and the youngest New York State Department President of AMVETS Ladies Auxiliary in history. Nina and her family settled in the hamlet of East Islip, starting a business called Twins Inn that became the first home of what would become AMVETS Post 18. Nina Cooley founded the AMVETS Ladies Auxiliary Post 18 in 1965, becoming the first charter president of the Post that would eventually find its home at 141 Carlton Avenue in East Islip. Nina Cooley held numerous positions with AMVETS Ladies Auxiliary Post 18 and was particularly close to the Post's Americanism movement, which was a program that oversaw the sending of letters, Christmas cards, care packages, and other forms of correspondence with American soldiers across the world. Nina Cooley was solely responsible for integrating these services provided to veterans into our local school districts by promoting flag, poster, and essay contests, as well as for the facilitation of scholarship programs for graduating seniors. Nina Cooley was blessed with a loving family that included 8 children, 22 grandchildren, 36 great-grandchildren, and 8 great-great-grandchildren. Nina Cooley defined her commendable lifelong efforts by the quote, "One flag, one land, one heart, one hand, one nation, evermore." It is the recommendation of the Street Naming Review Committee to symbolically rename the intersection of Fawn Drive and Grenadier Lane in East Islip Nina Cooley Way, and adding a memorial sign to the intersection of Fawn Drive and Grenadier Lane in East Islip will not change the legal address of any of the addresses nor replace the official name. Thank you.
Thank you, Gary. I'm sure that your grandmother would be very proud of you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. The last speaker, Jeff Ferguson.
Good afternoon, Board, Madam Supervisor. This is pretty insignificant to what's been going on here with the people requesting what they need. This is regarding street lighting. I live in Idlehour, 35 Shore Drive. And 6 months ago, I've been my crusade to try to get all the streetlights relighted. Well, it hasn't happened yet. And it's ironic that I missed 3 town board meetings. And I'm here on this one, and on number 11, it's an authorization for Wellsback for the supervisor to exercise his or her option. I just wanted to make note that I've called 6 months ago, and I've been told that the reason why some of the lights are not replaced is because of a generator issue with the lights, more like a supply chain issue. So I've seen other different types of lights, so I was wondering maybe the town could have a Wellsback look into that and replace the lamps if there is a still supply chain issue for the lamps. That's it.
Okay, thank you, Jeff. I know there have been supply chain issues in a number of projects. The commissioner is here. I'm sure he was taking notes. We'll check on that specific area, and someone will get back to you.
And
Thank
Mr.
you.
Ferguson, in your crusade, to reach out to my assistant. I'm the councilman for Oakdale. I'll be happy to hear from you. I've never heard from you before. So please reach out to my assistant. We'll be happy to work with you together.
Okay, motion to close the public hearing. Do I have a second? Second by Councilman McElway. The public hearing is now closed again. All right, let us go to item 2. Jeff, thank you. Town Board authorization to clean up and secure certain properties in the town of Islip.
Good afternoon, Madam Supervisor, members of the Town Board and the Town Clerk. Jeffrey Kanashi, Assistant Town Attorney, 655 Main Street, Islip, New York. I do have 14 matters on for your consideration here today. Number 1, to clean up the premises located at 5 Duke Street in Bayshore. On this vacant property, there now exists overgrown vegetation as well as litter and debris, including various items of household trash, large branches, a 2001 Honda Accord in a state of disrepair, and an unlicensed camper with propane tanks attached and mold growing on its surface, which constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire safety and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises.
Hearing none, motion.
Duke Street?
Duke Street, 5 Duke Street. Have you? Okay. Is there a motion, Councilman?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Councilman Gelway, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor, opposed, it is approved.
Number 2, to board and clean up the premises located at 6 Wyandotte Lane in East Islip. On this vacant and unsecured property, there originally existed an open window in the basement and an open door on the east side of the dwelling, allowing access to its interior, as well as overgrown vegetation, which constitutes a nuisance and creates a fire safety and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises. I do know that the board had the opportunity to hear from the owner of this property earlier at the town board meeting. There was progress that was made. However, as he represented, when our code enforcement investigators went there this morning to take a final look, there still existed an issue with the overgrown vegetation. So that is why we are still presenting the resolution to the board for a vote. I do know that he did ask for an additional 30 days.
Well, as we've done in the past, maybe kind of put this on the bottom of the pile and let his 30 days go by, but I think we'll make a motion to approve.
Yeah, I have no objection to that. When
Yeah.
he came before us, he indicated that he was the homeowner.
Yes.
The photos that have been presented to the town board, particularly the last photo from a Paul Adams, seems to be the same name of the guy who came up here, is general contractor. So it seems like he's flipping this property. Is that correct?
That, I don't know that independently, but it seems that way.
Well, the photos that are presented to us in support of the resolution seem to show a house that is slowly under construction. Probably very slowly, since it's appearing before this board, and it takes several months to get the matter on before this board, right?
Correct.
Okay. I have no problem giving the general contractor who's flipping this home 30 days to cure the problem.
Okay, we have a motion. Who made the motion?
I think you can.
Okay, I made the motion and a
I'll second.
second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved.
Number 3 has been withdrawn as we received a deed earlier today showing a change in ownership. Number 4 has also been withdrawn as the property is now in compliance. Number 5, to board and clean up the premises located at 25 Myrtle Avenue in Central Islip. On this vacant and unsecured property, there previously existed open windows at various locations on the dwelling, allowing access to its interior, and an unsecured accessory structure, which, based on the photos that we received today, appear to have been addressed recently. However, there still exists overgrown vegetation, which constitutes a nuisance and creates a fire safety and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises.
With a motion? Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman McElway. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Number 6 has been withdrawn as the property is now in compliance. Number 7, to board and clean up the premises located at 42 North Clinton Avenue in Bayshore. On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exists a hole in the siding of the dwelling, allowing access to its interior, overgrown vegetation and litter and debris, including discarded shopping carts, garbage bags, mattresses with pillows, coolers, and various other items of debris on both the porch and scattered throughout the exterior of the premises, which constitutes a nuisance and creates a fire safety and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises.
Any questions? Hearing none. Motion? Motion by Councilman McElway, second by Councilman Guardone. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved.
Number 8, to board and clean up the premises located at 55 Arthur Street in Brentwood. On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exists open windows and open doors attached to the dwelling, allowing access to its interior, unfinished vinyl siding, as well as overgrown vegetation and litter and debris, including discarded appliances, a vehicle frame, and various household items, which constitutes a nuisance and creates a fire safety and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises.
Any questions? Motion by Councilman Guardone.
Second.
Second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Number 9, to board and clean up the premises located at 76 Jefferson Avenue in Islip Terrace. On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exists an unsecured accessory structure, as well as overgrown vegetation and litter and debris, including a metal storage container that is parked on the north side of the property, a 1996 Oldsmobile sedan without a valid New York State registration, and many other assorted items of refuse, which constitutes a nuisance and creates a fire safety and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises.
Did you say 1976 Oldsmobile sedan?
1996.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at.
Yeah.
The picture, it didn't look like it. Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Guardone. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Number 10, to board and clean up the premises located at 79 Brentwood Street in Bayshore. On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exists an open door on the west side of the dwelling, allowing access to its interior. Siding that is in a state of disrepair, as well as overgrown vegetation and litter and debris, including plastic bins and other assorted items of refuse, which constitutes a nuisance and creates a fire safety and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises.
As Councilman O'Connor just noted, this was the woman that came up earlier. Have
Yes.
you had communication with her?
I had not had communication with her, but I did hear obviously what she had said. I can just represent that our code enforcement investigators made those observations earlier today. I know it may be the intention of the family to eventually bring the property into compliance. Unfortunately, when they made their observations today, that wasn't the case. So we're still presenting the resolution.
So she represented that it was her parents and, I'm sorry, it was her parents and their deceased, and she's trying to gain ownership of the property by passage of the property from one generation to the next. So as we've done with similar folks who are in this situation, we can give this 30 days before we send it to the board up and clean up contractor.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, with that understanding, motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Guardron. All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed?
Number 11, to board and clean up the premises located at 126 Country Village Lane in East Islip. On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exists open windows and an open door on 3 separate sides of the dwelling, allowing access to its interior, as well as litter and debris, including cardboard boxes and various other discarded items, which constitutes a nuisance and creates, a fire safety and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor,
Second.
second by Councilman McElway. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved.
Number 12 has been withdrawn as the property is now in compliance. Number 13 has been withdrawn as the property is now in compliance. And finally, number 14 has also been withdrawn as the property is now in compliance. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you very much,
Jeff,
Jeff.
I know you've been busy.
Preparing for today's hearing. You get a chance, could you just either give me a call or stop by?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, we will move now to item 3, meeting of the Industrial Development Agency. Motion to convene
Motion.
by Councilman McElway, second by Councilman Guardon. All those in favor? Opposed? We are convened, a quorum being present. Mr. Hemingway.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair and members of the Foreign Trade Zone Board. My name is Brad Hemingway. I'm the Executive Director for the Town of Islip Foreign Trade Zone Authority located at 1 Trade Zone Drive in Ronkonkoma. I have just 2 items for your consideration today. First item being approval of the minutes from our May 14th, 2024 meeting of the Town of Islip Foreign Trade Zone Board.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Guardon. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Second item is authorization for the Town of Islip Foreign Trade Zone Authority Executive Director to execute First Amendment on a sublease agreement with 101 Roebling LLC for property within the FTZ, 101 Roebling Court, Ronkonkoma, New York, also known as Parcel 10.
Any questions? Motion by Councilman Guardon, second by Councilman McElway. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
No further items for today.
And we will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman McElway. All those in favor? Opposed? We stand adjourned. Thank you, Mr. Hemingway. Item 4 are the appropriation transfers. Are there any questions? Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman McElway. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 5, Town Board approval for various amendments to the previous approved projects being funded by SLFR funds. I know there was a change made in the funding amount for the fish hatchery. We received a grant from the state just this week. The governor was down awarding $10 million for the fish hatchery. And then yesterday, we received notice that the funding source is changed and we may have to expend the funds ahead of time. So it's not going to be quite as simple as it appears with funding that comes from the state. However, the promise is there and the cost of the project is probably going to be closer to 15 million. So we will still need that transfer, but we adjusted it from the 10. Any questions? Motion by Councilman Guardron, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. We will move then to item 6, Town Board approval for revisions to the town's charge card policy previously amended on March 20th of 2018. Any questions? Motion by Councilman McElway, second by Councilman Guardron. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 7, the bid awards. Any questions? Motion? Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman McElroy. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 8 are the option year resolutions. Any questions? Motion by Councilman Guadrone, second by Councilman McElroy. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 9, authorization for the town clerk to advertise for public hearing to consider amending the town of Islip Uniform Traffic Code. Any questions? Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Guadrone. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 10, town board approval to symbolically rename Fawn Drive and Grenadier Lane in East Islip to Nina Cooley Way. We heard very eloquently from her grandson. Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by all three of us. And I'm sure we'll all be there for the dedication. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It is approved. Item 14, authorization to supervise it. I'm sorry. Oh, okay, 11. Yeah. Authorization for supervisor to execute the option to renew contract DPW 4 2019 with Wellsback Electric of Long Island for installation and maintenance of street lights. And of course, we're going to look at that one on Oakdale. Motion by Councilman McElroy, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 12, authorization supervisor to execute a contract DPD 124 with Integrity Communication Technologies LLC for supply and to install low voltage wiring for town facilities. Any questions? Motion by Councilman Guadrone, second by Councilman McElroy. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 13, authorization supervisor to enter into agreement with Madness Sports for Kids to provide 4 separate sessions of basketball leagues. Any questions? Motion? Motion by Councilman Guadrone, second by Councilman McElroy. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 14 are the special events. We're obviously getting into a very busy time of the year. Any questions? Motion? By Councilman Guadrone, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Next is item 15, authorization for supervisor to execute an agreement with Rosemont Contracting, Inc., in connection with reconstruction of Service Road SRE Airport Maintenance Yard at Long Island MacArthur Airport. Any questions? Motion by Councilman Guadrone, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 16, authorization of supervisor to execute the second one-year option year related to the Breeze Aviation Group, Inc. airline use and lease agreement. I will make that motion. Do I have a second? Second by Councilman Guadrone. Breeze Airlines now, with this renewal, just like to share with everyone who might not have heard of it, that earlier today, we had a press conference, and I'm delighted that all of our town board members were there, because certainly without their support, this kind of thing wouldn't happen. But JetBlue Airlines is now part of the family of airlines at Islip's Long Island MacArthur Airport. So to the commissioner, Shelley Rose Arkin, to Rob Schneider, the deputy commissioner, and the entire team there, and the entire town board, including Councilman Lorenzo, we thank you for your steadfast support. This is really a banner day for the airport and for the town, and as many people said this morning, for the region. So it really is cool. So we have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Opposed? None. It is approved. Item 17, town board approval to designate Leidos Inc. as the sole source supplier of the mobilization, relocation, and calibration of existing standalone Reveal CT-80 transportation security equipment. On the motion, any questions? Motion by Councilman Guadrone. I'll second that. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 18, authorization for the supervisor to enter into agreement with H2O Limo, Inc. in connection with the operation of its water transportation service to the Bayshore Marina and the Fair Harbor Marina. Any questions?
I have a question.
Sure.
There's a license agreement, right, Mike? To use part of our marina in Bayshore. We did this last year too, right? And there was no RFP to support that, right?
I do believe they're licensed by the county to operate a ferry or water taxi. Any other questions? Motion by Councilman McElway, second by Councilman Guardone. All those in favor? Opposed, approved. Item 19, authorization for the town clerk to advertise for a public hearing on the transfer of property located at 28 East Elm Street, Central Islip, from the Town of Islip Community Development Agency under the CDA's rent with option to buy affordable housing program. Any questions? Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Guardone. All those in favor? Opposed, approved. I see Julie McGibbon of the CDA in the audience today. Thank you for all of the good work you and your team do at the agency there. You're giving someone an opportunity to really realize the American dream with home ownership. Item 20, Town Board approval to accept the 5th Annual Action Plan under the Town of Islip's 2024 Consolidated Strategy and Plan Submission for Housing and Community Development Programs. Any questions? Motion by Councilman Guardone, second
Second.
by Councilman McElway. All those in favor? Opposed, approved. Item 21, the appointment of Howard Chatsanoff as a co-deputy commissioner of the Fair Harbor Beach Erosion Control District. Any questions?
Motion.
Hearing none. Motion by Councilman McElway. I'll second that motion. All those in favor? Opposed? It is agreed. 22, Town Board approval to accept funding from Suffolk County Sports Opportunity Funding Services to promote positive youth development and delinquency prevention programs. Any questions? Motion by Councilman Guardone, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. 23, Town Board approval to permit the Town of Islip Youth Bureau to host drop-off sites throughout the town to collect donations for the school supply donation drive program. I'll make that motion. Do I have a second? Second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. I just want to publicly recognize Tim Marr and his team at the youth agency that, or the youth bureau rather, for their work. They just came through a very active prom season. They were picking up donations, giving out gowns, and anyone that has donations. I was over there the other day, and it's interesting. They have a whole section of custom jewelry. So anybody that wants to donate, it's a perfect place to take it. But they're doing a great job. Okay, 24, Town Board approval for the acceptance of New York State aid pass-through funds from Suffolk County for positive youth development and runaway homeless programs through December 31, 2024. Any questions? Motion by Councilman Guardone, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 25, Town Board approval for the acceptance of funds from Suffolk County for the youth development delinquency prevention programs. Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Guardone. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 26, authorization for the supervisor to accept the donation by deed for the property located at 0 Fifth Avenue, Bayshore, from the Town of Islip Community Development Agency. Any questions? Hearing none. Motion. Motion by Councilman McElway, second by Councilman Guardone. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. And the last resolution, authorization for the supervisor to accept the donation by deed for the parcel located at 66-68 Carlton Avenue, Central Islip, from the Town of Islip Community Development Agency. Any questions? Hearing none. Motion.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Guardone. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Motion to adjourn. Second by Councilman McElway. We stand adjourned. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful 4th of July, Flag Day, and everything in between, and we'll see you next time.